What's up guys, Houndish here, and today we're jumping in with some Destiny 2 news. And this week we've had a new game update. On top of some of the changes, it gives us a bit more info about Guardian games this year. And it looks like we are going to be getting a new legendary weapon for the event, which is pretty cool. But as always, there'll be new quests and other items, so we'll talk about that stuff as well as updates from Bungie about patch changes, plus feedback about Adept raid rewards. And additionally, Bungie devs have been teasing a little bit about Season 17, Easter eggs, huge upcoming Sandbox updates, and there are a few other things that we'll talk about in the videos. So as always, I hope you guys enjoy this one, and if you do, a rating below really helps us out. But now let's get into it. Initially today, I wanted to touch on a few teasers and things from Twitter. And one of the newer narrative designers on the Bungie team, who goes by the name of Dr. Hazel on Twitter, said, "I cannot stress enough how good the next season on Destiny 2 is." And she goes on to say the team have absolutely killed it. It's fantastic and you guys are going to love it. And Destiny Tracker on Twitter highlighted this as well, reminding us that Season 17 will launch on the 24th of May. So interesting to get some teasers from developers there, and that definitely leans into the narrative side. Of course, it will be interesting to see where the story heads. And Bungie have said they're going to be talking more about Sandbox stuff and updates as we get closer to the start of that season. Also though, separately, Destiny Bulletin tweeted that Bungie may have added an Easter egg for its new IP inside of Destiny. So someone asked Chris Barrett, "Have you left an Easter egg in Destiny for your new IP?" And he simply replied, "Yes, maybe." And so now players are curious about the possibility that there's currently an Easter egg hidden in Destiny. And Destiny Bulletin on Twitter also pointed out that in Halo 3 ODST, Bungie had added the Easter egg for Destiny, showing Earth with this orb above it, presumably the Traveler, and the text "Destiny awaits." So it's certainly in Bungie's nature to add these kind of Easter eggs to games, and I'd be curious to get your thoughts below. Now though, into other news, DMG said that in terms of the TWAB for this week, Weapons Sandbox will be the topic of conversation, and the team is working on some interesting changes. He's also teased that it's going to be a very long TWAB, already at more than 8,000 words according to his post. So there'll be some interesting conversation this week. Someone also made a reference to Laurent's driver not receiving a nerf, and DMG responded, "See you on Thursday for the TWAB," so it sounds like some changes could be on the cards for that weapon, and is one that they're going to discuss this week. So as always, I'll keep you posted. Moving on though, we get some updates about the Master Vow of the Disciple raid and a few words from Bungie. So initially, some players have asked if the Adept raid weapons will be craftable or have enhanced perks. And of course, for the Adept versions, they seem to have fixed roles, but currently aren't dropping with enhanced bonuses and aren't craftable. And DMG said no updates at the moment, but we're passing the feedback up to the team. Other players also pointed out that if you get a deep sight version of an Adept raid weapon, completing the resonance doesn't actually count towards pattern progress for craftable raid weapons. And DMG said this is a bug and the team is working on a fix, but when they have more info, they'll let players know. And of course, it was one of the things we were curious about as to whether these Adept weapons would get that crafting element. And seeing as the normal raid weapons can get enhanced bonuses, as well as the full selection of bonuses in the crafting system, it certainly isn't doing a lot to make the Adept weapons more appealing, right? And so the general sentiment about the Adept drops at the moment is that they feel a bit lackluster. So give us your thoughts about it down below. But connected to raid stuff, DMG said that the contest mode raid emblems for Vow are beginning to roll out. And he also points out that players may need to sign out and sign back in for this to appear in the Postmaster. Nonetheless though, give me your thoughts about the Master Vow of Disciple down below. We made a separate video yesterday going over all of the patch note changes for the update that we had in the game as well. So I'll link that down below, but some of the highlights include that Bungie have adjusted enhanced chain reaction and enhanced field prep to provide benefits to more archetypes. There's also a new deep sight resonance extraction option that focuses only on neutral element, plus they added the new consumable to the relic that allows us to view element counts. They also fixed Xur's wonky armor stats and Rawul's destination material rotation. Plus we got some minor buffs to the empirical evidence sidearm and a pretty solid buff to the bait and switch perk, which is increased from 20 to 35% bonus damage. So those and a bunch of other changes are in the patch notes, and I'll link a video below. On top of this, it turns out that update was a little bit heftier because it was carrying a bunch of the info for Guardian games this year. And Destiny Bulletin posted the info card for the event, so we can see unlock torch rewards in the new Guardian games playlists, and it also lists warming up in the training playlist to get buffed, and then striving for the highest of scores in the competitive playlists. So there will be some slight mechanic changes this time around. We'll also see the return of Guardian Games medals, as well as a new Guardian Games weapon right there. So according to what we can see in the database, there will be a Guardian Games weapon called the Title, and this is a legendary SMG. There's also a legendary engram by the same name, so it's possible that this would be something that could be earned multiple times, or even purchased for chances at different roles. It's pretty cool that the event will get its own weapon right there this year. And additionally, because of the update, we get a look at the armor pieces for the year. So initially the new Warlock set, We can see the Titans with red, as always, and finally the Hunter set. And it looks as well like there'll be sort of weekly quest steps for the event. And initially there is warming up, where we need to practice activities in the Guardian Games training playlist and reach score thresholds to earn buffs that last for the week. Once that's done, we're able to achieve bronze, silver, and gold scores for the week's activity in the Guardian Games competitive playlist. Then there are 2 final steps encouraging us to get a platinum score for the week. And again, it looks like this will be a weekly thing. But otherwise, in terms of rewards, there will be an exotic quest to earn the catalyst for the heir apparent. I believe that's returning from previous events, but there looks to be a separate exotic quest which will award the ship for Guardian Games. And the final ceremony for Guardian Games this year, according to the database, will be called the Backstretch Ceremony. So it gives us a bit more information about the event and will take a pretty similar format to previous years, with some slight mechanic changes and playlist changes right there. Nonetheless, it's cool to get a look at some of the new rewards and give us your thoughts down below. Another final mention that I wanted to make right here, but JP Deathblade tweeted that the Alluring Looks bundle, which housed the first exotic shader Prismatic, has been removed from the manifest, alongside the Prismatic shader, so for any of you guys who are wondering about the possibility of seeing an exotic shader, that info that was in the database at the start of the season has been removed, and so probably not something we're going to get in the near future. Now though, to finish, Bungie clarify a few things about raid rotations, and somebody asked, will all raids and dungeons game-wide be infinitely farmable, regardless of rotation, or is that just reserved for whatever is in rotation at the time? And DMG confirmed that it is reserved for rotation. It also says on the subject of the raid rotation, for newer players, we hope the rotators will help you to complete some of the older triumphs and snag some good rolls on weapons that you potentially never had. If you want to target a specific weapon, checkpoint lockouts will also be disabled during featured weeks. Plus, he clarified that next season, master power levels for raids will be adjusted so that all of them match. And right now we have a 1580 Vow, but Vault of Glass at 1590. But nonetheless, both of those raids will have the same recommended power at the start of Season 17. And for today, guys, that's what we have to speak about in the video. So a few interesting bits right there. Give us any thoughts you have down in the comment section. As always, I really appreciate you all tuning in. And if you've enjoyed the video, a rating below is really helpful on the channel as well. Plus, if you want to be kept up to date with more Destiny content, feel free to hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications so I can keep you up to date. But otherwise, thanks for tuning in, and I hope you guys have an awesome day.